Mr. Trouble never hangs around when he hears this mighty sound.
Here I come to save the day.
That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. Yes, sir, when there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight. On the sea or on the land, he gets the situation well in hand.
So though we are in danger, we never despair, 'cause we know that where there's danger, he is there.
He is there on the land, on the sea, in the air. We're not worrying at all. We're just listening for his call.
Here I come to save the day.
That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way. We're not worrying at all. We're just listening for his call.
Here I come to save the day.
That means that Mighty Mouse is on the way.
Elevenish. Good morning, how is everybody? Oh my god, what a day already. It's like I've woke up and it's like I'm in a fuming mood this morning, but I'm going to spin it around, I'm going to turn it around and things are going to be good. So I'm going to put these questions up. Will they come up as a separate thing? Yes, they do. How awesome is that? I love that. I've worked out that if you put /Q and like a message or something, then it can come up in one of the empty seats, which is nice because then it kind of puts who the question was from and then the message underneath. But it also should put it into the video as well, which it means I can use it for kind of pushing people to certain things. So morning everybody, hope everybody's cool. It is 11 o'clock Wednesday the 18th of November. Oh my god, time is moving on quick. Today I started on the very first blog post that I'm putting out. I'm putting out 18 days of blog posts as we count down to NYC. I've not had any coffee. I've not had any coffee whatsoever this morning. My light was flickering. I think this won't be working by tomorrow because as soon as I turned it on, it was like, so either there's a loose connection or that's about to die, which would be actually right for this morning because the energy that I've woke up with this morning is this kind of. I think a lot of people who have anxiety and stress and sort of mental health issues in some ways can relate to this. It's kind of like. Half of it is kind of enthusiasm and determination and effort and kind of, yeah, let's get on. And the other one is like frustration and narrow-mindedness and, 1% and like disappointment. Like there's always these two that are kind of doing this for me when it happens like this. But I've had a few things happen this morning. I had somebody to do with the card say that it was 7 days on the return of some cash rather than 5 days. But if they received a fax, then they could do something about it. A fax? Who's got a fax machine? Who are these people who have fax machines? Who are you? Do you leave the house? Have you seen television since the 80s? I mean, like, who has a fax machine? I don't have a fax machine. So I said, will a tweet from this company do? Like, if I screenshot the screen and send that as email. So I'm waiting back to see if they can do a manual version of it until, like it's 7 days instead of 5. It says on the website 5 days, but actually it's 7 days that they tell me. So it's just they keep it in some random account somewhere with everybody else's money and make profit on it probably. Because, that's the way that things work in this world. But you can be negative about it and you can be upset about it and frustrated about it and desubscribe from society about it, or you can just fucking power through, and that's kind of what I do. So that's happened this morning. Then also I found out that my Udemy course is not actually listed in the sale stuff, which has really pissed me off. So I've been on the website and I can see that if nobody unticks that green box at the top, then you only ever see like for sale stuff. So it means I've just got to do my own organic traffic and build it up like slowly myself and not rely on it, which in some ways is good. It means that I don't have to, it means I know now. I kind of had this discussion with somebody that I want to see how the Udemy course went, and if it went in the right way, that would give me some kind of sustainability, some kind of security, that would bring some money in. So now I know that that's not going to go in the way that I thought. I can kind of put that to bed a little bit, kind of like I did with the Airbnb stuff. I've kind of put that to bed because we've found a way to do that for the time being, which means I can just kind of not relax but focus, because it was pulling my focus left, right and centre. So the bike is up for sale on a load of Facebook groups this morning as well, across the board. I've got like 3 or 4 different adverts going out. I've got one on Twitter, one on Facebook, and I'm changing all of my Udemy course things from 19 quid to 8 quid in line with the Udemy Black Friday stuff. So I've kind of just attacked it this morning, and I think that's the way you have to do it, because otherwise you literally would go absolutely mental, like sorting all these things out. So today's work, I've got a stack of work to do today. I'm working on a type form for membership for Team Humble, so people who want to join Team Humble and want to come in. Also found some amazing fonts yesterday. I know I'm getting excited about fonts, but I found some really nice handwritten script brush fonts, which will be perfect for making shirts and design. Not like this one. This is a terrible font. This is like excuse me, super dry, terrible font, but like they're like brush fonts, so really, really nice. So we're going to take some of the text that we made for our video, for our Team Humble video, which, by the way, if you haven't gave us any donations or retweeted it or shared it yet, it's smarturl.it/humble-nyc. And that we need like 100 quid left on that. As soon as we can finish off that, I can put that to bed as well. Because these things kind of run and like are running in my subconscious all the time. If I sound like I've got a cold, I think I'm just really stuffy. I think at night, depends. I'm sort of like a double-edged sword. If I have the heating on, it's really bloody hot and like I'm totally warm, but then I kind of wake up with this kind of like osmosis kind of nose thing, which takes a while to get rid of, so I have to go for a walk and stuff. But yeah, type form, working on that, so sign up for that coming. I've started to schedule all of these blog posts. So one's gone out today, which is smarturl.it/day18. There'll be one for day 17, day 16. I'll put them in different things. We are live tonight, or at least I will be live tonight, and whoever joins me it'll be cool to hang out. The first Team Humble countdown, day 18 tonight, 10 p.m. So if you want to drop by and say hello, then do so and tell me what you're up to. That would be cool. And if you haven't donated, that'd be great for you to come and donate and find out a bit more about what we're going to be doing in New York City from the 6th to the 13th of December. Just nice, like at the beginning of December, means we can go in, do a bit of a Christmassy thing, and then get out and then come back and then carry on working and get things going for 2016 and feel really determined for 2016. I felt the same way in 2015, but then I just didn't have the resources, didn't have the funds, and I was working at my temp job at the time, and I hated it. It was like I'd been there 2 months and I'd had enough, but I ended up staying till May, which was bringing enough money in. But I'm kind of looking at another temporary job at the moment. I need to send my friend a mobile number actually, so he can contact me. So I've answered that. I can get rid of that. So what if I click on another one? So let me put this one up. Let me answer this question. Will it actually swap this out and change it? Yeah, there you go. Cool. So what's the beef about Udemy this morning? You posted over on Twitter. My God, my brain this morning is either on free play or the universe is just determined to throw everything at me. That's kind of what it does. And like I just won't. I don't give in. I don't give in. The universe literally will just keep on throwing stuff at me. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about this? So my beef about Udemy is that if your course doesn't get listed, which mine didn't, I think I must have either submitted without enough segments in there, lectures in there, or something was amiss, or I missed something, but I didn't get listed, which was really unfortunate. I guess you have to have a bit more of a groundswell. I kind of was pushing it by just having one paid course. I probably needed to have a couple of different paid courses in there. That didn't work out, so I was a bit gutted about that, but it is what it is. But I feel a bit disillusioned by the fact that they made us do all these little tests, they made us do all these little other courses and stuff, and submit it at a certain time, and then it still don't get listed. And on the Udemy site, at the top left-hand corner, if somebody doesn't untick that green box, then you will never get found, because there's over 17,000 courses on there. And it seems to be very much like it is in your everyday kind of systems approach to the world, that if you're in the top 1%, then you're all right. If you're not, you're out of it. So it's just a different thing now. I've got to graft really fucking hard. I've got to hustle really hard to put those courses in there. I have 20 courses lined up, and they're across the board. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. So I've got to really work at it. I understand I've got to work at it. We've got an egg coming in, so I'm just gonna like click over it, or if I can click over it. I'm not even sure if I can click over it. Oh, it's gone. Okay, good. So my beef is, I guess, that I feel a bit disappointed. I feel a bit disillusioned with it. I have to kind of change a few things now to make sure that my other courses go out there. I kind of see myself using Udemy for the free courses, or like minimum payment courses, and then just building it up over time, kind of automated some of that cycle. And then once I've got a temporary job, at least if those courses are up, I can slowly do the social maintaining of that. I also need to put some playlists on YouTube, which I might get around to doing today, but I'm not sure because my list is absolutely huge. Charity work in Slack. So yeah, the guys who I'm working with for their charity, it's a little bit slow burn at the moment. It's getting investment. It's getting investment in terms of their time and their eyeballs to be able to look at Slack, and then actually, you know, frequent that space, spend time in that space. It's very difficult to get people on board with chat applications and programs and say, you know, go into this room, and you don't have to be physically looking at the window all the time, but as long as you're logged into the software, when somebody actually will messages you, then you'll get a notification and a pop-up. And I think there's a lot of people who kind of don't really live that culture. They're kind of, they open their browser to go to a URL and look at it, do the job, close it down. There's no persistence in conversation and messaging. It's almost like you're taking up my time, or I'm not willing to be that accessible. And I think that's dangerous in the modern working environment these days, to not realize that when you're on shift or when you're working, being accessible is super important. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're recording video courses or podcasts or whatever, you don't want things binging and popping up and all that sort of stuff. So I understand like muting it or shutting it down while you're working on those stuff. But I think there needs to, for people who are kind of very Excel and kind of Word documents, and they can only do stuff on one machine, they can't log into the cloud somewhere and get to it. There's a huge culture shift that needs to happen, and I think that's what I'm going to come up against. It's not the technology and the empowerment side of it. It's more about getting people to be present in that space and realize the potential of it when they get used to that environment. It's getting used to the environment. You know, how does this work? Why is this over here? People process things in different ways, and I've noticed that in different generations before mine, and especially my mum's generation, is that, you know, she's not really willing to adapt to that kind of change, because it kind of rubs her up the wrong way. It kind of disrupts her in a way that makes her feel uneducated about that particular topic, and then she wants to know everything, and then when she finds out everything about it or starts looking into it and realize how expansive that topic is, it overwhelms her and she switches off, which I think a lot of people do. So it's kind of like finding the balance with that. That's kind of hard, but I'm working on it. I got my bike up for sale, got my GoPro up for sale. I need 600 quid really to cover a few bits and pieces to add on to my money to go to New York City. We'll get there. It's just really down to the wire now, especially when you've got places like you're paying for National Express tickets, and then they say, oh no, sorry, it's not gone through, and we're sending it back, and it's like in this limbo, and they say it's 5 days and it's 7. Can't do anything about it, but like frustrating as hell. Promote Fiverr gigs. That's another thing I'm working on. Fiverr are about to roll out in lots of different departments and categories this new thing where you can package things up, and I really like it because you can have like a almost like a bronze, silver and gold package, and sort of like 25 quid, 50 quid, 75 quid. So gone is the $5 or the £3 minimum wage in the UK kind of pricing. You can literally say you get this, this and this for this price, this, this and this and this for this price, and added extras, you know, in the bigger price. And I think that's going to push more people, one, to sort of concrete and formalize for people in people's minds that you're not just buying cheap stuff on Fiverr. like the package stuff I think is really interesting, because if you're a brand new startup or a small business or an entrepreneur that has, needs to do a podcast, needs to do a recording, needs to do a blab, they can't do it, but you're a reasonably good interviewer, being able to package some of that stuff up and sell it to somebody on a retainer on Fiverr, like monthly, will sustain so many freelancers. So I think the packaging thing is really good. I'm looking forward to that being rolled out. It's only rolled out in a few areas at the minute, so I don't think it's rolled out in the area that I'm in, which is sort of videos and graphics. Right, I'm up to 15 minutes. What else? I've answered that, so let me answer another question. Why are you doing 18 days of blabs at 10 p.m. every night? What's Team Humble? Where are you going? So I'm doing 18 days of blogs, little incidental blogs, uplifting, inspirational, kind of just thoughts that come out of my head that are to do with the graphic that I put with it. So I made like 18 graphics. I like the idea of countdowns. I like the idea of people connecting on a daily basis. I feel like last 2 or 3 weeks I've been focused so much on making things happen behind the scenes that I haven't really been social and been in front of the screen and been recording, and having my temp work and everything has kind of got in the way of that. But you need money and stuff. But I'm not going back now till the 24th, so I've got plenty of time between now and then to get some stuff done. So I feel like being a bit more present. So the 10 p.m. is really just for people to get together and get excited about, what's happening in New York. We've already got a bucket list of things that I want to do. I'm hoping the team chuck in what they want to do in New York. I know a lot of people are going to go off and do their own thing anyway, which is cool. But I'm very focused on the soup kitchen stuff that I want to do in New York. That's kind of something that I've been wanting to do for years. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this, but my mum wants to now go to the soup kitchen on Christmas Day. So it might be me and my mum doing a soup kitchen in the UK, because she's handling it. She's taking care of it. She's finding that. She's getting in touch with the charity. All the stuff that frustrated me year on, she's now going to look at, which is cool. I'm dry. I need to get a drink. I'm not even had coffee this morning. Can you imagine what I'm going to be like in 15 minutes when I've had coffee? I'm going to be like Scott Pilgrim. So why am I doing that? I'm doing it because I want to have that connection with people on the countdown for 18 days. Team Humble is a group of people that got together about 2 months ago on Blab. We started chatting on Blab, then we created a Slack channel which has separate little channels in there for different things. The first thing that we're doing together as a group in a physical space is a New York City trip from the 6th of December to 13th of December, and we'll be on the ground in New York City, going around to soup kitchens, helping out, volunteering, doing some interviewing, chatting to a few people there and seeing what they're up to. Also finding out some stats and figures, how many people they're feeding on a day-to-day basis, finding some public Wi-Fi, giving away free Udemy courses in terms of how to be a digital nomad, how to learn some new digital skills if you're homeless. And the idea is to correlate, is to link them from wherever they are at these soup kitchens, wherever the closest open Wi-Fi is, public Wi-Fi is, and access to technology. So that's the deal with Team Humble. Where are you going? We're going to New York City first, and then in March the idea is to go to Austin, Texas, because 2 streets over from the conference center is a homeless shelter, and it's always got loads of people outside of it during South by. And I've always had this weird kind of polar opposites feeling that I walk a couple of streets across and I've gone from exclusivity to sort of disillusionment within 2 blocks, and I just can't be arsed with the conference anymore. I can't just be one of these people who just cheerleads somebody else's success. I'd rather just go into that place and do 3 or 4 courses, sessions a day in that space. So I'm really excited about that, because I still will take part in South by. It's not even about a money thing. It's not even about not being an advocate paid by a brand to go. I don't get any value out of it. I think for the last couple of years I realised I don't get any value out of South by anymore. Even though I love to see all my friends there, I know everything that's going on with Gary Vaynerchuk because he puts videos out all the time on YouTube. So I think there's a value in terms of if you've got a brand and they want you to be in the space and you want to be seen, because it amps up their coverage, their brand in terms of having people on the ground. But I think the conversation's better after 5 o'clock at night. Between 5 and 2 a.m. in the morning, you have some amazing chats. Then you sort of crash, get up, go and have breakfast at Steel Magnolia on Congress, South Congress in the morning, do all your business deals and chats and everything in the morning. And that's kind of what's in my brand advocacy course. Quick plug there, smarturl.it/advocate. Go and get it. It's £8. Dirt cheap. I spent fucking hours on it, And then Udemy like shot both barrels at me and pissed me off this morning, but don't worry about it. We move on quickly. 90 minutes, 43 seconds. That's it. I am finishing up. Bang on 20 minutes. That feels good, I have to say. Frustrations, tech, online, and crashes. This has been elevenish 31. I will catch up with you at 10 p.m. tonight, GMT. Blab.im, Phil Campbell. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.